Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Prison Architect. It is finally the moment you've all been waiting for. It is time to expand to the maximum security penitentiary facility thingamajiggy. It is time to expand to maximum, okay? But before we do this, okay, let's just take care of a few housekeeping things, okay? First, these offices for the program of behavioral therapy, they actually don't work anymore with the chair. They require, in order to do behavioral therapy, a wide sofa. Very strange to me, but that's the requirement. So we're going to give that. We're going to do that. There. And then this guy, he's got a weird office arrangement. So we're going to put it here. Then, just to make it look a little more natural, we're going to put a plant in his office too, because it just makes it look nice. And we're going to give everybody else a plant too, because I just got to do it. So, okay, so those offices to do behavior therapy now require a wide sofa. So we're going to do it. Then we are going to want to get the program sorted out for it. So behavioral therapy, it says no equipment in these 3 offices. And that's because they require, as you can see, each prisoner requires a wide sofa. So now we need to hire more psychologists. So 1, 2, and 3. And you guys can all go to the offices that you deem worthy for yourself. Apparently the one I put in here didn't like it, decided to come in here instead. I don't know. Maybe he just liked the way it's organized. I don't know. Lights. Each of these offices do need lights. So let's do that like so. And let's just make sure they had some power in here, because I don't think the lights are going to even be on the way it currently is. So why don't we, we'll just do this. All right, so behavioral therapy, that's going to get underway, hopefully. Go back to programs. It says no equipment. Let's stop. Come over here and start. All right. We can, I think we just get away with this. This is fine. These 3 appointment slots. Okay. Yeah, so we've got carpentry happening. Hopefully somebody gets trained in that. Foundation education, hopefully somebody gets trained in that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So next thing I want to do is, let's talk about this. We got $55,000 and no debt. Probably going to have to take some debt to do this, but this is my expansion at this time. These cells will eventually be maximum security. We're then going to have, we have this secure here, we have this secure here. I don't know who's going to be working in the cleaning cupboard. I haven't figured that out yet. I might end up having this be like a dual cleaning cupboard arrangement. And what I mean by that is that we have a door here too. And then we put a wall right here and we separate it to where this is one for max and this is the one for medium. But I think eventually we're probably going to have more max than medium. I'm also tempted to have low security just kind of mixed in with the mediums. I know that kind of goes against my let's have a segregated prison for each and every one thing, but I don't think that was actually the original plan. It was just to have all security levels in the prison. So we got this down here too. I'm not sure if I'm going to put a wall here or not. I might just leave this open. We'll see. Make it like a common room area where there's benches and stuff for them to hang out. But we're going to have some stuff happening here too. I'm thinking, and I don't know this, but I'm thinking what we're going to do here is we're going to have a library here, and then a shop right here. And each security zone can work in this shop. They're just going to work here when the other security level is on free time, right? So they can each sell to each other. Then we have the same thing going to happen here, all right? So maximum will work in this shop when medium is in the yard or something. And then, vice versa, we'll have another one right here and these guys can go buy stuff. What do you want, Chief? Just discovered that one of the teachers is smuggling huge amounts of contraband. One of the teachers, they brought in contraband. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to go... tonight we'll do the shakedown. I don't want to do the shakedown while everybody's out and about. Tends to piss them off a bit more than if you do it at night. Now, I think we have enough orderlies. I don't think we need any more of this. I'm going to hope that this stuff here just kind of, you know, takes care of itself for a while. Because we're not bringing in any more mentally, we're not bringing any more criminally insane people. So, but we are going to come down here and do this. So there's a lot of trees to take out of here. And I think we're just going to have those done now. Have those done ahead of time. And that way we can have the money before they start laying all this stuff down. Right. $54,000. There's a lot of money happening here without the need to really do much of anything. If I just sit here and let it run, like at this point, the game's easy enough where I think I can just walk away at full speed, and I can come back like a day later, and it'll probably end up being, random events aside, you know, obviously those might screw me, but random events aside, I think I could probably just let this go, and it will just make money every day. But that's not what you guys want to see. You guys want to see chaos and stress. Right? You're masochists that way. See the other, I said I would do it and I didn't do it. Gah. Ugh. This is like a theme with me, guys. Like, I say I'm gonna do something and I just don't do it. Like, it's become me. It's never who I used to be. I was never that way, ever. And now it's just who I am now. I didn't install no stump. I said I'd do it before I started the last video, I think. And I just never did it. Now we got stumps. All the more reason to cut them down before we start expanding, right? But still, like, I didn't do it. Now the real question is, should I add a mod? Should we even add a mod? We could have this be the only pure vanilla playthrough we've had on this channel. There's a chance. It's still, the opportunity is still here. We could do it. We could do it. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is there's not a whole lot I want to do until I have money, or I just go into debt. Spiritual guidance is another thing, right? There's 2 rooms we don't really have. Oh, here he goes. He seems agitated. He's got somebody just... Behavioral therapy, 1% chance to succeed. Oh, good. He's not eligible for parole. He has to serve his full sentence. Well, I mean, I guess if there's no eligible for parole, why does it matter if I, you know, treat him? Just as long as he stays alive, you know, that's the way it is. Although I don't see criminally insane prisoners actually working. I haven't seen that. So I am under the impression that the more you put in, you're not going to have any prison labor and stuff, which is actually kind of okay in a way, you know, because then you don't have as many programs and stuff for them. Like, you don't need foundation education, which costs a lot of money. General education costs a lot of money. Behavior therapy is maybe not necessary if you're just doing a criminally insane prison. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. There was another comment also that mentioned, like, why would if a criminally insane person is eligible to be released early for parole, it seems like that's not a good thing because they're criminally insane. I'm thinking it's a little bit like I'm seeing this a little bit differently, right? Like, parole is, and I kind of already responded to this comment, but I'm kind of bringing it into a video now. Parole to me is sort of an assessment as to whether or not that person can get along with others and maintain sort of a positive influence on society, you know, whether they can adapt and become productive members of society is kind of what I'm going for here. That's just an assessment of whether they can do it or not. And, you know, having criminally insane people, that might just be an assessment of their sanity. You know, if they get out early, they get out early. Great. What I am seeing, though, and this is kind of a big deal, and I'm just now noticing this, and I probably need to adjust a little bit, and that is that we have 27 prisoners that are eligible for parole right now, and only 3 rooms. Now, one way we could get around this a little bit is to just have it happen more times a day. But if you try this, you're still going to notice it only happens at certain points, and I think that's probably because of their regime, right? Like 10 to 2, but what about 2 to 6 and 6 to 10? So 2 to 6, it says work time, free time. You know, cuts into their meals a little bit. 6 to 10, also a work time. So they're doing work here to where they're not doing any work here. So I could maybe try it early in the maybe during their sleep time. Maybe I put it. Maybe I can put those parole hearings earlier. If I bring it up to like here. And then bring this to here. Is that something that would work? You know? What's the other room over here? I'm not sure why it separated them, but all right. So if I do this, is that something that can work, right? So we take a look at parole hearings, and they're still doing... You see, now they're really early. Interesting. I'm not seeing anyone, like... It says 27 prisoners are up for it. 28 prisoners are up for it, but it doesn't say anybody... Huh. These are the intricacies of the game that I just... You know, I forget. I forget how they work, the intimacies of how they work. The other thing we don't have is a chapel. And I was kind of hoping maybe just having the prayer rugs in their rooms was enough. Here is... Oh, we got the flip board. Oh, yeah, we're going to do that. But first, I want to do the prayer mats, if I can find them. They're just not appearing. Seriously, game. Prayer mat, please. Yeah, put that in there, and then if there's any other cells that don't have it, put those in. It's just that template because of the guard, the gang leaders or the gang members, they own the cells, and we figured this out, I guess, or somebody commented about it. It's kind of interesting, but I think you're right. If a gang member owns the cell, when you go to make a clone of it, it will just skip the territory, and in the clone model, it will just skip the territory that the gang member owns, which never used to happen because it used to be you could modify a cell no matter whose cell it was. Cells were not considered gang territory, and now with these new updates, they are. So that's changed things. Like, it would always tell you whether or not the cell was owned by a gang member, but you could still manipulate the cells. You just couldn't manipulate territory owned by a gang, right? So if the gang took control of the yard, you couldn't modify that. If they took control of a common room area, you couldn't modify that. But that was about a gang as a whole controlling territory. Now it's interpreted as the cell that they are in is their territory, is the gang territory too. And that's a bit weird. It prevents me from editing the cells. It also prevents me from, I guess, copying that cell. It's part of my template. So that's why certain cells, right, when they're like, hey, you got cells that aren't actually cells, this is like a change in the game, in the fabric of how things work in my reality. Then that's the reason why I don't have that done right away. So, yeah. I'm an old man. You can't change things on me and expect me to just adapt like you young kids. All right? I'm an old guy. All right? I mean, some of you viewers are... I mean, honestly, a lot of the viewers that view this channel are actually older than I am. Which, I don't know why that surprises me. I guess I shouldn't, like... It shouldn't surprise me, but it kind of does. You know? 70. Okay, hold on a second. What is going on here? Staff morale is at 77%. We got 55 staff with serious complaints. What is going on here? What? Bladder needs? I don't understand. Okay, it's done now. You can go to the bathroom now. It's okay. Everyone, it's okay. Just single file now. When I rebuilt these with the doors, it kicked it out of staff only. It's okay, everyone. The potties work just fine. You can do it. The orderlies, they have a problem, but everyone else, you guys can do it. Go, go, go. Yep, single file, everyone. Back up to 85% now. Okay. Okay, you got to keep an eye on these things, you know? I'm starting to see hovering on my mouse over people, seeing pissed off. I'm going, huh? Why? Because you changed things, Mr. Gamer. You changed things. All right, let's see how much it would cost to lay this down. So white walls, if I want to lay this whole place down right now, this is going to run me half my money, more than half my money to do that right there. Or I could do this a little bit at a time and instead expand it this way and then over here. And I kind of like that better. Like a slower progression so you don't go bankrupt, right? I think that's for the best. So let's lay that in. And then we're also going to lay it in over here too. So this is going to get laid in like this. And then like this. And like this. All right. So that leaves us with 34 grand. And we have this wing here, this extra part of the wing here. And I'm not going to import maximum security prisoners until this facility here is complete. All right. And I know there's like, please do this. Do this, gamer. I'm giving you a command. I ain't listening to your shit. But seriously, I am going to do this. I'm just going to do it when I'm ready. Okay. So this wing here needs to be done. All these cells need to be done. And all of this stuff needs to be sorted. And I'm actually pretty tempted to go ahead and make another canteen. I'm actually thinking that maybe this area here will be a canteen. And then we could have this here be a kitchen. Kind of a weird looking kitchen area, but we could do it. And I've actually got this squiggly mark right here for this wall. It's kind of squiggly like this, designed to allow a staff-only entrance into this kitchen, because prisoners from this area will work in this kitchen, but only the cooks will go into this section, and none of the maximum people will work in the kitchen, right? So we'll have some help over here working in these facilities, but we won't get help from the maximum people. Make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. For the rooms, let's take away the forestry out of these rooms. And the forestry is now there. And then I want to give one space gap for that. Okay. And actually, this needs to be built too, because this is part of it. So we're going to make this happen as well. Like that. All right. So, welcome to our facility expansions. Okay. First thing we're going to do, once we can verify that this is all closed down, I don't know what's going to happen to this. Actually, I do know, because we're gonna just demolish that wall there and see if that does it. If you demolish that wall, what happens? Do you still require an entrance? No. Good. Okay. So hopefully this just gets built now with a wall right here. Very good. This is now locked down. It's completely indoors. So we can now go ahead and demolish this, and this. Now, we're going to put doors here. No, we're going to put doors over here. This part's going to be an extended wing. So let's take our quick build tool, clone, and we're going to take these cells, such as they are. No, don't copy the wall. Come all the way over here. Actually, no. Make sure that they are not owned by gangs first. Good. This is a good template for us to grab. So cloning, we're gonna grab this, and I think that wall too. Also had another comment. I love some comments, man. You can these comments. These are templated. You don't have to custom make every cell. Yeah, I know. I don't know how many. I got a lot of hours in this game, man. I know. I also don't want boring, so yeah, that's probably why. 1 and 2. There we go. Okay. So we've expanded this wing. We are not intaking any more medium security. We have 39 of them. We probably should, actually. Let me just double check really quick on cell availabilities. We do have... See, like, once this becomes maximum, though, these guys are not going to have any cells up here. So we're not going to take any more until I expand this a little bit more and get them more cells. And then we can. But for the time being, we're kind of just locking down intake. And there's two reasons for that. I mean, one, we're profitable enough as is. There's no reason to introduce more chaos and therefore more expenses and potential staff deaths that ultimately lead to us having to pay more, right? There's no reason to introduce that just yet. The other reason is because there's a random event that can happen that essentially says the mayor comes in. This has happened to us in season 1. I think it's happened to us in every season so far, where the mayor says, hey, there's an incident at another facility and that they can't hold these prisoners anymore, so you have to do it now. They're on their way. And then the prisoners, they just show up, and it could be anyone. It could be the worst of the worst, or it could be, you know, people who don't necessarily have anything going on. But either way, they're showing up, and they show up in any number that the game decides, and you get no payment for them at all up front. So you want to have some sort of, like, you want to have green on some cells. You want to have some sort of availability to be able to bring those prisoners in. You don't want to be full all the time, because if that event hits and you're full, you're not getting any money for them on intake. So whatever your bank balance is at the time, that's going to have to be what you have in order to expand. Or you can take a loan and, you know, I think I do pretty well as far as like loans go. As far as handling those, hey, look at this! Superior beds! Ho 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 ho! Somebody passed the carpentry! By the looks of it, 2 did. Because we have, otherwise there's no reason for them to use both benches. So, yeah, move it. Let's go, people. Get it out there to exports. Oh, you have other things to do, though. You've been building all this stuff. Oh, speaking of which, we gotta put the utilities in, because that does not get copied. I wish it would, but I kind of understand why it doesn't. Because how you want to lay out your utilities might change as you expand, and you know, you don't necessarily have the same. Now, I also have to figure out how I want to do the water supply thing, and I'm kind of thinking that I'm gonna have a separate water pump for these guys, because I don't know, like, having them access, I don't want to bring big thick pipes into here. Like, even this is too close. I don't like this. I want this gone. I'd rather have honestly, I'd rather have another water station like right here, with like the thick pump only being right here, and then everything else is just the straight lines. I'd love that instead, but I don't know. If they can get here, cool. But we'll see if they can reach this far, and if they can, I'm sure it can. We'll leave it the way it is for now. But as we expand this way, these pipes are not going to be able, I don't think anyway, to reach all the way over here and still support water. If they can, okay, I might be willing to just keep it the way it is. But ideally, you don't want to give them access to these pipes, because you can crawl. They can get through these pipes very quickly when it comes to digging. So if they can access one of these, and one of these will take them out of the facility, they will go to them. They'll try to dig to them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Who is it? What were you doing? Murdered my prisoner with a knife. What? What? Which... Oh, you did it! I thought he was dead. It's the cook that's dead. I thought he was dead. I'm like, why did one of you stab him with a knife? What, did he say something about your mama? Huh? He's a crazy guy. All right? He's criminally insane. But no, now it actually makes perfect sense, because he's criminally insane. He stabbed the cook. I don't know why he's in here. You know what? We can fix that right now. Deployment. All right. The criminally insane are not allowed to work in here. Okay? He doesn't have any... Why is he in here? He doesn't have... He's never... What are you doing right now? Okay, so you have... You have... What is going on? He's like, oh, I'm just gonna punch you randomly. Orderly, I need you to, yeah, please do something about this. Thanks. Search him. Get him out. Get him out. Criminally insane. You're not allowed to work in the kitchen anymore. Get out. That's right. Yeah. Beat it. Get the hell out of here. What do I want to do for this room? There's a spot right here, and I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with it, and I haven't figured it out yet. Maybe this could be storage. You know, prisoners aren't allowed back here, so it can't be anywhere where prisoners are gonna go. I don't know. Maybe we'll just leave it the way it is. Okay, so this is all done now? Close. Yeah. They're not getting all the way over there. That's the worry. So if this big thick pipe goes like this, I believe that will be, I think that will be sufficient to getting water all the way, except it's still not getting to there. It gets here though. Weird. How does it not reach this one, but it reaches this one? Like they're coming from the same distance. But maybe it's like a water pressure thing, like it's too far away from that pump. So it's not quite getting, I don't know. Either way though, I really do think I need an extra water pump. And see this one, there's no point in coming out here, you know, like because you're still in the prison and you still have to get through here. But imagine this scenario. Rather than having to dig, if you're over here, maybe you're probably over here. If you're in this cell, instead of having to dig all the way down here and trusting that my dogs don't sniff this, right, when they're in the room, you could instead dig directly to this pipe, only have to deal with dogs sniffing out these 4 tiles, these 5 tiles, get to this pipe, and then you just go all the way up to here, and then in the dead of night, you wake up, you get through this cheap little gate, you bust down this gray door, which, I mean, you're not going to get through both of these things without me knowing. And then you run all the way over here. You try to bust down this door, somehow get past all these guards, bust down this door, and then you have to run down this way and get past all of these guys too, which I still have guards stationed on the road, right? Just in case. So, and this final door over here, it still has to be opened by a guard, which I don't know if that's the best way to go about it. This particular guard, it says he's exhausted, but I mean, he shouldn't be. He should be going to get a break. And I don't actually have him stationed in here, right? I don't have any guards like stationed in here. I think it's a patrol, actually. Yeah, it's a patrol. All right, you know what? Why don't we just take guards off of this patrol route? Get rid of that route, and we'll throw one of these down here. We'll get one of those thrown down there. That way we can open it up remotely, I guess. We are going to keep guards here, though. I think this is a good way to... It's good to have that. We'll open this up manually until they get this in, and then we'll start... there we go. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and plug it into the door servo. All the way like that. There we go. Now the question is... Yeah, that. Okay, get that done too, please. The question is whether or not the same problem that existed before. I hope it doesn't. Honestly, I hope it was a problem with a mod. But there was a problem that existed before where. See, this is it. This is connected to the door and it will still work remotely. But for some reason, it says there's no electricity, so you have to install the wire, even though it does work anyway. Anyway, there was a problem last time where this door would just be randomly opened whenever, even when there was no vehicle waiting. And that's the problem I was trying to avoid by having a guard in here to do it manually. But I think that was probably a mod conflict. I think we had that in the... I want to say it was the female prison? Season 2? Might have been Season 4? I don't remember. Was it the one where we did it on Twitch and they could manipulate it with their crazy, you know, Twitch commands? That was fun. It was fun. It wasn't fun when they destroyed the prison. It's their fault we lost, okay. Definitely their fault all the way. Wonder how that happened. There was another thing blinking at me here too. There. It's the hot water. Hot water is blinky, blinky, blinky. All the way over here too. Oh. Yeah. There you go. What else? Hi. It didn't do that one either. Hi. Anything else I should know about? No. No. So we just need this one done. So we're just gonna bring that over there. Okay. So that gets done, that gets done, that gets done. And now we can expand down here some more. So these cells are all done now, ready to rock. Yep, lots of availability. So the question is, do we want to give these guys a separate canteen? Do we do a separate canteen? The storage room is right next to the kitchen here. So this is very efficient. People can come in here and swap between here very, very quickly. I've also dropped 2 extra cookers because our population has gone up. So I did that. But this is very fast. What isn't fast is getting stuff into this kitchen. Won't be as fast. One thing we could do, instead of making this a shop, which I still think is a pretty cool idea, instead of doing that, we make this a storage room. And then this storage room works with this kitchen very well, and they can go back and forth. That's a possibility too. Another possibility, because there's a lot of those going around, is we make a very small storage room, and we make this cutoff right here, so that this is the store, this is the shop. It's a very small place, but this little area here becomes a small storage room, and then they can get in from there. We basically extend this by like 1 or 2, and then they get into the kitchen by going through storage. That's a way to do it too. But I'm thinking about giving these guys a separate canteen, and that way I don't have to worry about like scheduling inconsistencies where, you know, these guys are in the yard, but these guys are, you know, eating, and then there's some sort of gang riot and they all rush through this room and we get a bunch. I don't want that, right? I kind of want them to be pretty segregated, and that requires me to have an extra kitchen, another kitchen of some kind. Yeah, so we could do that. This could be a canteen. This could be the kitchen. Or we just say, hey, why don't we try to make it to where this canteen works for everybody? Because, like, there's the capacity in this canteen to serve a lot of prisoners. There's a lot of seating here. And as long as we're not having everyone eat at the same time, they could all use this. The cooks would just be constantly busy in here, which isn't such a big deal, honestly. They have needs they have to address, so they can't always be cooking because they have to take care of their staff needs. But I mean, it's right next to the staff room, and this is a really, I think this is a really efficient setup. This is really working out well. Coming down here and messing with this, making a whole new canteen and stuff. I don't know. Part of me wants to see it all work together, but part of me also says that's not happening. You should just accept it and do this and segregate it. So if we were going to do it separate, how many maximum prisoners could we have in this canteen? Because with having multiple security levels in here, right, it means we have less of each one. So we're not going to have like 400 maximums in here, right? It's going to be like 100 of each. I mean, if I have 100 medium, if I have 100 normal, 100 minimum, 100 maximum, and 100 criminally insane, I don't even think I could fit 400 soldiers. I don't even think I could fit 400 prisoners on this one tile. I would have to expand. I'd have to expand. Like land expansion would have to be a thing. So let me click that now, just in case that's a thing I have to do. And then I'm also thinking guard towers as well. We'll start working on guard towers. Yeah. Why is he not working on it? Why is he like... Yeah, it wasn't going. This was going the whole time. You weren't going. That's weird. Maybe the chief was out of his office. Does he has to be in his office in order to recruit it, doesn't he? Hold on. If he's out of his office, he says he's researching still. Oh, he's going to do guard. He's doing taser certification. So while he's doing that... Yeah, while he's doing that, his research is paused. Okay. Cool. Cool. That's why it wasn't going. Yeah, so I think that's my plan. This extends over and it becomes more solitary. And then also I think this is going to be solitary as well. I spaced it out to where this space right here, this is 15 by 6. So it's 15 wide. And this right here is also 15 wide. So this 15 by 6 design just gets repeated all the way down here. And we get all that for solitary cells. So that's an option. Another option is to have, if we don't do the other canteen route, hypothetically, let's say we don't do another canteen. We have just this one, and we work with the regime in a way to where they all share it, right? If we do that, I can afford more cells. So I can have this whole thing take up more cells, and then we have capacity for about another 100 prisoners. Because I think that's what this is. This would end up being a 100 cells, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So more than that, right? Because this is 80 all by itself. So this ends up being much more than 100. So, yeah. We don't actually need anymore. This is already 100 maximum prisoners. So then we get 100 medium, we get 100 low sec, we get 100 criminally insane, and then we have a part of the prison that's good for protective custody and a part that's good for death row. And then that's it. Well, and then we have to have some sort of a facility ready to go for Supermax too. So that's my general plans for this place, guys. What are you thinking? Share me your thoughts. How would you change the plan? Leave me your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been fun. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.